In the winter of 1943, an unprecedented blizzard struck the Shirotoko Peninsula at the northern tip of Japan. The crew of a shipwrecked fishing boat sought refuge in an ice-cold cave, facing blizzards and starvation. However, this last bastion of life also became a terrifying stage where the limits of humanity were tested. When rescue teams eventually found them, only one man remained. What he recounted was the unimaginable price of survival. Why was an act seemingly forced by extreme circumstances judged as a grave crime, even murder? This incident presents humanity with an ultimate question. In December 1943, a Japanese army chartered ship was shipwrecked off the coast of Shirotoko. 7 crew members, including the captain, barely made it ashore, landing at Pekinohana on the Shirotoko Peninsula. In the bitter cold, the captain and the youngest 18-year-old crew member reached a hut. Food ran out, and their bodies progressively weakened. Amidst the extreme cold and starvation, the 18-year-old crew member died of exhaustion. Then, in February 1944, the captain, miraculously, was rescued. He recounted a shocking survival tactic under extreme conditions. He had consumed the flesh of the deceased crew member. However, within this timeline, an unnatural blank space exists. As the investigation progressed following the rescued captain's testimony, a shocking discovery was made near the hut where he supposedly spent the winter. It was human remains, white bones, stored in an apple crate tied with rope. If the crew member had simply perished naturally in the extreme cold, why were the remains unnaturally dismembered and placed in a box as if to hide them? This physical evidence of white bones in an apple crate, discovered by the hut's owner, suggests an inexplicable human intervention beyond mere survival due to starvation. It was the first clue to a silent truth. During police questioning, the rescued captain admitted to consuming the flesh of the deceased crew member. However, he denied murder, stating emphatically, "In a place where there were only 2 of us, we were encouraging each other to survive. Why would I need to kill such an important person?" strongly denying murderous intent. There is a significant gap between the survivor's desperate plea and the unnatural state of the remains found in the hut, along with the charge of corpse desecration. Was the captain truly asserting his innocence, or was a deeper truth, one he didn't want to recount, hidden? His words draw us into deep suspicion. As the incident's timeline is retraced after the captain's rescue, an inexplicable void period emerges. What exactly happened between the time the 18-year-old crew member supposedly died of exhaustion and the discovery of his remains stored in an apple crate? This period of time, where the handling of a body under extreme conditions escalated into a legal issue. What exactly happened during this time, and what transpired in the captain's mind? This void period, while a key to approaching the heart of the incident, weighs heavily upon us as an eternally unsolved mystery. The captain was ultimately prosecuted for the crime of desecration of a corpse. The prosecution argued that the 18-year-old crew member's remains were unnaturally handled and stored in an apple crate, severely violating their dignity. Even if driven by unavoidable starvation, the intentional act of dismembering and attempting to conceal the body was deemed unforgivable. This was the harsh reality presented by law and ethics. As there was no direct evidence of murder, the trial focused not on the morality of cannibalism, but on the actions taken toward the corpse. This raised a profound question. How are human actions under extreme duress interpreted by the law? However, behind the charge of desecration of a corpse, another interpretation is possible. In such extreme cold, could there not have been a necessity to dismember the body to prevent putrefaction, maintain hygiene, or perhaps to carry or preserve it as future sustenance? Furthermore, the possibility that the captain, in an extreme mental state, acted in confusion without clear judgment cannot be denied. The fact that the remains were placed in an apple crate doesn't necessarily mean the sole purpose was concealment. If
there was some intention, what was it? Was this act truly an abuse of dignity or an unavoidable measure under extreme conditions? We must deeply consider.
This incident might harbor a deeper darkness that cannot be fully explained by a simple structure of one survivor and one victim. The process where reason paralyzes and the boundaries of human dignity blur amidst starvation, cold, and despair. Could it have been a state that could be called collective madness for survival? Perhaps the captain's actions were the result of unconscious or irresistible instinctive urges under extreme conditions, a dark possibility lurking deep within human nature, immeasurable by modern common sense. Was this frozen hut silently reflecting that? We now have 3 keys from the Hikarigoke case. First, the inexplicable void period between the 18-year-old crew member's death and the handling of his remains. Second, the physical evidence of white bones in an apple crate found near the hut. And third, the psychological contradiction revealed by the captain's wavering testimony denying murder. These 3 elements challenge us with a complex human drama that cannot be contained within the simple framework of a corpse desecration case: the void period, the bones in the apple crate, and the captain's testimony. How would you connect these dots and deduce the truth of this frozen cave? Share your insights.